All right, we're going to try again. This time I've oriented the landscape, which is a funny satellite view. That's the problem, is it's all distorted. So it's not lining up, and I've oriented it now so that at least these front buildings are along the x-axis. And they are not straight, as you can see. This is the problem of perspective, and that means that when we go to Roblox, it really looks bad, even though we're completely flat now. And if you go and play the game, then you can see that, yeah, sure enough, this is flat to the ground, and so is this flat to the ground. So, but it doesn't match up. Like, everything is off when you look at it, and that is again because it's perspective. This is not the image that we're using was not straight up and down, and we're trying to model from an image that was not straight up and down. So probably what we have to do is replace the entire image and then rejigger the walls and stuff to square it all, because that's what we're having trouble with when you're using a perspective shot like this. But that's what we have to work with, and that's the challenge in using a QGIS image, because we're coming in from a satellite, right? And that is not a straight image at all. It's a projection. And that's always created problems depending on where the satellite took the picture from. So you'd have to get literally straight over this to get a square out of this. This is obviously not a square. So when you line it up, this is divergent from this. And that may be the truth of the matter as well. It's hard to make straight rows, and it doesn't even look like the greenhouse really is backed up against the wall. It's kind of curved. There it is backed up against the wall. It's sort of curved there. Anyway, we're doing the best that we can. And so I'm going to come into Blender here. That is even more distorted in Blender than it was coming off of the map. So, what to do about that? Well, like I said, we'll do the best we can with that. So I'm going to come in here and add a cube and bring this cube here, and you can see it's aligned along it came in along the x-axis, but it's not really going to line up that well, but I'll try it. So we're going to grab it and move it and keep scaling it. And then we will scale in X, and then we will scale in Y, and then we will move it in Y, and already we're schief, as they say in German. So even though we're along the back wall, we're schief, and yet that's what we got to work with. So we know that there's a building there, and we know that there's an almost identical building. If we do a Shift D, there's an almost identical building over here. And then there is another building over here. And so we can Shift D there and move that over. But this building is substantially thinner. But now they're lined up against the back wall, which is as they should be. So we'll just go with that more or less. I think they need to be, all three of them, a little bit smaller. So we'll do G and Z, and oops, not G and Z, we'll do scale and Z and bring them down. I don't know if they're one-story or two-story buildings at this point. And probably be good to move this one over a little bit closer. This one seems to be more or less the right distance. And then when we look at our top view, we know when we go and add a material to this one, and then we go to the alpha channel, we can see what's underneath, and with that we can go into the edit mode and we can grab the top surface, which is that, and then we can say that we want to extrude and scale in Z and scale down to whatever that middle thing is there, and then scale in Y, make it a little bit longer. So whatever that thing is, it's on the roof. I don't think it's a depression. I think it's actually an extrusion up in Z. Don't know how high it goes, but we'll let that be that geometry for that one. And similarly for this one, let's add a material to that and this out here. It's again a matter of perspective. It could be an identical building, but it's got these solar panels on it. So when we go to grab those points and then we extrude and scale, we have to leave room for the solar panels, and so let's make it a little bit smaller. And again, make it a little bit bigger this way, but then let's grab it and move it down in Y so that it leaves room for the solar panels, and then let's extrude again in Z and whatever that is, if it's a roof or something like that, at least we have that. Alright, so then we can bring that back, and same with that. And then this is just this box, for all we know. So having done that, we want to put doors in it because we want our character to be able to go in. So I'll grab this one and I will go into edit mode and I'll select everything, and then I'm going to extrude and scale and make like either an inner wall or an outer wall. I think I'm going to make an outer wall. Okay. And so I have that. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to extrude and scale, and I really should be in the edit mode. So select it all, extrude and scale out a bit to make an outer wall thickness, and then come here and do the same thing. Go to edit mode and extrude and scale out. That gives these walls some thickness. Now I'm going to punch a door into this using a Boolean. And to do that, as you've seen me do, I add a cube. And that cube I'll bring forth, put where I think there might be a door, scale it in Z a little bit taller so it's a bit more like a door, and then move that in Y so that it can hopefully punch a hole into that through that double wall. Now that clipping is driving me nuts, as it always does, so let's go and bring this down and bring this up, and then it won't clip. Okay, so let's go back into here, and that should be enough to punch a hole in there. So we'll select this, and we will go to our modifier, and we will add a Boolean, and we will use the cube to do our cutting, as you can see there. And maybe we should move that cube. Let's not use it. let's not do it yet. Let's move this cube up in Z and scale it a little bit smaller. It's not too big. Move it down in Z. I don't know if I want to punch through the floor, to tell you the truth. I'd rather have it have a doorstep. It's being punched through. So let's grab this, add our modifier again, and then pick the cube. And then when we hit apply, we now should be able to move the cube out, and we have a hole punched in there. There's a hole punched. And then let's move this over into here and do the same thing. Okay. Select this, add a modifier, and then select that object, apply it, and move that out. And let's add another door to here. So select that, add a modifier Boolean, grab our cube, and then apply. So now we have these three house-like objects, and I guess we can try to bring them in all at once. You never know, but we could try. So let's grab these three objects and let's go File, Export, and then FBX, do it at 0.01, and we're going to call this main buildings, and we will export them, and come in here to our very warped model and say, I'm doing okay, thanks. Come in here. No, still working. So these three buildings there, and we're going to make sure, I'm figuring it out, yeah. Make them double-sided and anchor them. Make double-sided and anchor. Just hope that our character doesn't get stuck. I hope he can get through the door, because that's what's been killing us this whole time. So there, okay, so import. When they come in, and they're on the ground, as they should be, but we want to move them and you can see they do line up now but against the wall, but everything's so messed up in terms of the perspective of the picture. So yeah, we got to deal with that. Let's make it bigger, scale the whole thing up as a model, and bring this down, bring this back. And like back it up against the wall, but it's not perfect because of the way that the greenhouses are. So we may have to just redo this to be more technically correct. I mean, you can't rely on the picture at all. So we may have to just straighten this whole thing out and ignore reality at a certain point. But that's not too bad, given the spaces and the back wall. solar panels, this thing right there. And it does look really weird. And I have to admit, it looks like there's no way this could work, but it is snapped to the ground. As you can see, it says it's snapped. So now that we have that, we can change the color, and the material is fine, I guess. And let's see how this plays on this very weird looking landscape. So we save file as, and let's go play. So character's there. Can you get in the house? Yes, you can. All right, good. Nice. And there's that skylight or whatever that thing is there. Let's see if we can get in this house. Yes, you can. All right. And let's see. Did we even put in a door? I thought we did put a door. Well, that's odd. Ah, there's a door over here? No. I thought we did a door. And maybe we didn't. Well, in that case, we made a mistake. Oh yeah, we never took. I think we did. We did, but we, interestingly enough, when you're going to edit, you must have done something wrong. You must have punched this improperly. So we didn't really do a good Boolean here. Because when you go to points, you see that it's problematic. There's a point there, and there aren't any points there. So this got messed up. So we should be able to delete that face, and then maybe we have a door. Nope, we still don't have a door. Ain't that interesting. So ain't no faces in there to delete. So it appears that I didn't punch a hole in this face at all. Perhaps I can just do a loop cut, and if I come in here, that's going to cut through the whole thing, so I'm not sure I want to do that. If I do the knife and I cut from here to here, and then cut from here to here, there to there, and there to there, I guess I could punch that out. And then I have a whole, I got a lot of weird geometry in there too. You're not supposed to do that in Blender. You're supposed to, and maybe I can just merge these points. Extrude merge vertices at, ooh, no, didn't mean to do that. Merge vertices at center, yeah. So I'm trying to do some fixes here. Like that and that is like really bad. Merge vertices at center, and then this and this, and then merge them at center. Now I should have a decent model that can be exported, where there's a way of going inside the model. So now what I wish I could do is I wish I could just replace, like if I just took this, this, and this, and I re-exported it as a FBX and used the same name and the same settings, why then can't I go into Roblox and select this model and just replace the ID? But apparently I can't. I mean, the mesh is this cube, and this cube, and they all have Roblox asset IDs. When you go to the folder, it just has autosaves. So So I guess I'm just going to have to take these out and go through that process again if I want to have that wall. And that's a shame because in other programs, oh, what did I just erase? I don't know what I just erased. There. So, yeah, it looks such a mess. Wow. So let's go in and go back home. Oh, I have to stop playing. Duh. All right, only then can I get rid of these things. It'd be really nice, like I said, if you could insert from file. I don't think insert from file. Really, could we? Where did I just see that? Name transform. I right click, it says insert object. No, I don't want to do that. Insert from file. That would be really interesting if we could go to our folder. It would have to be Roblox model files. Okay, so that's not going to work. All right, so goodbye. And we'll come back in here, import 3D, take them again. This time you can see that there is a hole for somebody to walk into. There's a doorway. And again, we will make it double-sided and anchor. And we will make it double-sided and anchor. And we'll make it double-sided and anchor. And we will import. And then we will scale these up. And I guess we can come in here and tell it to do 100. Oh, that's way too big. Wow. Okay, I didn't mean 100. I guess I meant 10. Yep, I meant 10. But even 10, wow, way too big. All right, 10 ain't working. So whatever, this map got very distorted somehow. Never the mind. We'll go to the scale and we will scale it by eye. And we will move it by eye. And once again, because we aligned this, the x-axis does work against the back wall. And that seems pretty good. And then once again, we're gonna, I think the color is actually more of a burnt sienna out there. And this one too is probably more of a burnt sienna. So select that as well. And the walls as well. They're all kind of Moroccan burnt sienna. This one here, the wall, that cube certainly is not in the right place. And that's going to be pretty hard. Hold the Alt, click down, and go to scale. Scale it like that. Also, this scale here needs to be thickened a bit. Anyway, nothing really fits in here. And I want to put a door in there eventually, but at least we have now something to go into. And now we hit play, and our guy can climb in, can look up. Eventually we want to put windows and do all sorts of stuff, but step by step. And he's got this room to go into. And he's got the greenhouse. So there's a lot more to do in here that we have to put in. Now when it comes to simple things that you don't have to go into, like the gravestones all over the place, I'm of course not going to use Blender for that. I'm just going to come in And I'm going to put a part in and put a block, and I'm going to scale that block. And if you want to scale it uniformly, you have to hit Alt. There we go. Now that needs a different color. It needs to have a gravestone look to it, and it needs to be scaled properly and rotated properly. So you've got these gravestones that are, oops. Whenever I hit move, the rotation disappears, and it drives me nuts. But yeah, so there's a gravestone. Maybe I should make it a little bit smaller. Hold Alt down. Right in front of the greenhouse. And then we can call this, should be able to click on it, call it grave. And then you just Control D and start putting gravestones in different locations. I think we have another one there. I think we have several of them up here. It looks like an old cemetery, which it is. So things are not geometrically placed. And then another one over here. I don't want them to snap. So since I don't want them to snap, I would turn off join surfaces. It's snap to parts. I turn that off, and then it's smoother, and I can put whatever gap I want to. Move that down here. Move that one. And again, because of the nature of the photograph from space, it's not going to line up perfectly well. So Control D. And then Control D again, put another grave and move it down here and rotate it. And then another one here. Again, we lose the rotation for whatever funny, funky reason. And Control D and move this one. Rotate. And it appears like there's one here too, so we can doctor this up with a gravestone that is indeed a gravestone. So we got these gravestones scattered about the cemetery. Looks like there's another one over here that we should pay attention to. And yeah, so we have that. And we'll save that. And then there's these trees, and I love Roblox that it has trees and bushes. Like over here, there's got to be these bushes. So these should be a little bit more manicured than the other ones that are out in the desert. So I'll use this bush, and I'll duplicate that and move it and shrink it just a little bit so we don't have uniformity and then over there, and then do it again, there, and then do it again, and move it there, and do it again, and move it there. Decide how much of vegetation we want to add around. I guess that there was room for another one over here. You're seeing their shadows. So that's nice to have a little bit of vegetation there, and it looks like there's some other bushes here. So if we want to move this, oops, move this here and then scale it down, and then, oops, I keep adding, not too big. Out there, and then, so you can spend all day putting in vegetation. I'm going to put a desert bush over here. So some of it looks manicured and some looks like it just grew. And then over here, of course, there's also a row of bushes. So we'll act like these are intentional. And we'll put that bush, and we'll shrink it down a little bit. And we will keep pushing, keep putting bushes along the edge. And it's kind of fun working with a satellite map, and I've never been to this place, and the delegates from the International Conference on Urban Health will be visiting. I will probably forego the visit because of the cost and hope to visit on my own at another point. But it is fun to start putting stuff in. Like I'll try a different bush. Like here, a flower bush. Oh, I put it in the wrong. Oh, that's okay. A flowering bush would probably be nice to have if I make it a little bit bigger. And put it, near, sort of near the gravestones. And then do another one and move that. The assumption being that people put flowering shrubs. That's a flowering bush. There's a pink flowered one as well. And we can move that one over to here. Oh, that was the pink one. Huh, then what did I use? Maybe they're the same flowering bush and they just use different names. So that one was the pink flower. This is flowering bush. That's a different color. Okay, so let's move this one to here and make it a little bigger. And we'll duplicate that. And only the people who've actually been there will know just how in error my assumptions are. I'm going to put another one here and another one over here. All right, now there is something there. I can't tell what that is. It's like some kind of like fountain. Ah, it must be a fountain. Oh, that it is a fountain. So I'm going to go to the assumption that that's a fountain and see if we have a fountain in our Roblox model asset. Yeah, there's a fountain. That one, it's 99%. That seems to be exactly what that is. And it's got animated water. Oh, cool. That's really going to be spectacular. So let's bring this down. There's really nice stuff in Roblox that you can bring into your models. Let's bring it down to the ground. Right by the grave. Look at that. That is so cool. Alrighty, and the bushes are there. We need some trees, evidently. So let's go get some trees. So there's a realistic tree. People seem to like that one. Tree. I'm going to put this realistic tree here by the fountain. And I'll put another realistic tree of the same type over here by this grave. But I'll make it a little bit smaller. Some shade tree there. Fountains there. Looks like there is or was a tree right in front of the greenhouse. So let's go for a, I think an oak tree. Yeah, I'll go for this one here. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I'll bring it down in size. And this is one of the great things about planning with simulations like this is you can plant trees and show people what a landscape would look like if it had trees in it. So let me duplicate this one as well and move it over here. Okay. So that's the shadow of that. That's the shadow of that. There's no harm in duplicating this tree again and moving it over to here. It seems like there is another one over here. Although that needs to be moved up. This one needs to be moved up. And we can make this one a little bit smaller. This one a little smaller. Alright. There seems to be bushes over here. Probably go for the same bush so we're not wasting too much time. Just bring that bush there and duplicate it again and make this one a bit smaller. Change its aspect a little bit. Alright, so we're getting somewhere. There's obviously trees here. And that probably should be the realistic one. There's a realistic trees. There's a realistic tree that we haven't tried yet. So let's drop that one in here and make it bigger. And then move it up. So I think there's probably some more bushes like these that we should bring. Ooh, see? Oops, let me do that. So let's Control B that, and then bring that over here, and let's grow it a bit. Hold Alt if you want to do the whole thing. And then let's grab it and move another one over there, but make it smaller. Okay. And there's two bushes over here too, but I'll make them flower bushes. So let me try bush again. Did I miss anything? Bushes. Oh, I should do shrubs. Let's try shrub. Flowering shrub. There's a shrub. So let's go for shrub bush. Oh, it's a lot of stuff. That's what should go out here onto the floor of the That is more like what is here. Yeah, we can definitely duplicate that and move that into different locations. Let's duplicate that and move it up here, and duplicate that and move it here. And let's do one more and move it. Oops. Let's move it there. So that there's bushes in different places. It's coming together. Don't know what the rest of these things are. There's a building over here. But let's for a second, let's just see what this is looking like. Let's hit play. And now we are walking around the gravestones. And there's that beautiful fountain. And there's the beautiful bushes. Yes. Walking around the gravestones. Going in the house. We don't have anything in the house yet. But I kind of like that. It's coming along rather nicely. Wish I knew. That looks like a staircase, and looks like there's some place in there that you could go inside. Like, actually, that looks like an awning. That's what that looks like. It looks like there's an awning that covers the entrances to the buildings. And that may be true or it may not be true, but if it is, we can mock that up. And then it looks like there's some other kinds of buildings or graves over on that side there. And for the purpose of Roblox, I don't think we'd model these in Blender. I think here's where we'll just do a part. Like, we'll put in a block, and we'll call this, I don't know, I'm going to call it Mausoleum because I don't know what the thing is. I'm just guessing. Oh, come on. Search object. Part. Where are you, part? First of all, I don't know where the part is. There it is. So if we go here, oh, why is that spiraling out of control? Because we're still in the game. Huh. Okay, so let's do this again. Add a part and bring it over, and we'll call this part Mausoleum. I'm probably not spelling that right enough. And then looking down from the top, we want it to go along the wall, so we are going to bring it down to the ground, and we're going to scale it out that way, and out that way, and that way, and that way. And then we're going to rotate it, which is, as again we said, awkward, you know, which wall you're using, but we'll scale it. We'll rotate it a little bit more so it fits this wall, and we will scale it up. And this one's going to be whitish. And then there's like other parts. So I don't, like I say, I don't know what all that is. So what we can do is we can duplicate this and bring it forward and down. And then we can duplicate this again and bring that down and scale that in. whatever that is. And then we can make another piece by duplicating it and rotating it. So we'll need to ground truth a lot of this to figure out what this thing is. What is it? There's got to be a bush down here. I think that's what that is. Maybe another one down here, but now we're at the point of blur, so we really don't know who's the what in this. I would assume that they have other trees and that that's what we're looking at here, but you don't know. There's a lot of shade there. So, and let's make that shade tree. Let's Control D it as well and move it here. All right, so we have, oh, looks like we need another flowering plant over here, and over here, and over here. And there is one over here too. So let's move that over there. Don't know what that is. Maybe it's a place to store tools or something. But it is a structure that we need to have at least showing for it. So let's come over here and scale this up. For whatever it is. And then we can always ask, what is that? And it has this bluish color. I wish there was an eyedropper like you have in other programs, but there isn't. So we'll just do that. And there is another building here. And so whatever these buildings are, they are what they are. Again, we're having this problem of being on the wall, like we had with this one. That cube really disturbs me. Okay. That means that this then has to rotate, but it can't because, yeah, I see it's a mess. So whatever those things are, they're going to continue to be a mess until we straighten everything out. So here, we want to go to color, we'll go to a whitish gray color, and we'll scale this out to there. And I think that's just a shadow under there. So like I say, we don't know what those all are, nor do we know what this is over here, unless it's a plot of land. It doesn't look like it. We can put a part in there. Oopsie. So that we can identify later what the heck this is. And it is square to the wall there, but not to the wall there. And there are bushes around it, so, or seems like there's bushes around it. Don't know. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, you need to be scaled down. Interestingly enough, there's solar panels that are on this roof, and there's 1, 2, 3. I need to make this transparent or I won't be able to see them. So for transparency, you would go to the main building, go into the cube, and let's, the material shouldn't be plastic anyway. It should be limestone. Very good, yes, we need limestone for the material. On each of these cubes, limestone, limestone, and limestone. But then for this one here, which is that cube, I want to be able to see through it for the time being, and so somewhere in here under material, double-sided cast shadow color, there should be transparency. There it is. And so if I want to make it transparent, just for the time being, so I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 solar panels. So they're probably running at about 2 kilowatts in there. And here we can just type in solar panels. Oops, not sol, solar, solar. And we have a realistic solar panel, we have something on a pole, we have solar panels there, a whole system. I'm going to actually put in solar panel to restrict it, solar panels, and maybe this one here. I'll drag that in. Is there room for 6 of these? Let's see. Let's also see, is this going to rotate? So this comes in funny. The sun is, where is the sun? The sun's over there, so, and the shadows were all coming that way, so the solar panel has to be rotated around that, and then like that. Okay, so it's even funny how it reflects the sun, which is cool. Is there room for 6? Maybe we have to scale it a little bit narrower. And here in the model, and this is called solar model, it's made up of parts. So solar panel, and then one of the parts is this. That is not the one that we're scaling. This one is not it. And then this one, yeah, I think that's the one that we can make it narrower. So we call this that's the actual panel. And so if I take that solar and I now, oh, what did we do there? What is that? Okay, I'm going to go back and undo because I did something wrong. Oh, that's the leg. Yeah, so I messed up the leg. So let's go to solar panel. We know that this part is the actual panel, and so we'll click on that and say panel, and then on that we can, so we'd have to, okay, if I want to move these, I'd have to move these closer, or just shrink the panel down. I guess I could do that. Certainly looks like it's off. Okay, so let's then, I just wish I could get these, the rotation okay. And then we can look at it, and the orientation actually is supposed to be 0 here and 0 there. So if I grab that panel and duplicate it, and then go and move it. 2, and then I have 3, and then I have 4, and then I have 5, and then I have 6. So that is our solar array there. Now, to fill out this space, while it doesn't actually exist, it would be nice if our Roblox character could go up a staircase and see them. And you can build a staircase, but often you can find stairs. And put in stairs like that, and then it's really like just building a little dollhouse is all you're doing. And bring it out like that, and then duplicate it, continue. And that's where snap to parts will help, because then it should snap like that. And does that get us up to the top? It leaves one step less, and probably this is a union, so this is staircase. Stairs. I don't want to take this apart, but it looks like there's a weld in there and that you could come in and you should be able to grab an individual stair, but you'd have to unweld it. And I don't need to do that. He can easily get up there, but there should be a platform here, and I can't edit the scale of this. So I would here put it apart. Oops. And move the part. Right. Scale that. Out. Maybe we'll put it like that to make it safer, and we should put a rail on there. Also, this doesn't need to be that material. This should be not rubber. Granite, no. Cracked lava. Is there any metal here? Force field, foil, fabric, glass, granite, metal. Okay, so we got metal, and the color of the metal can be desperately dark. Actually black. Or it's actually a brownish black is what they seem to have here, but they don't really have that brown black. Anyway, for the railing, you just type in rail and get railing. And let's rotate the railing. And can we scale the railing? You betcha. All right. It's not in the right place. It needs to be rotated. And it needs to be moved over. Kind of snaps there. Okay. And just to be safe, we would have to duplicate it and rotate it. And here you can go to rotate, and you can do 2 45, so you hit the 90 if you want. You can always use these to limit how much you're moving stuff, and then bring it back And I don't have to cut it off because it's safer. Actually, this is too long. This needs to be scaled back. That. And then this needs to be moved back. Yeah. And then good luck to the person who tries to walk behind the solar panels. In fact, that's so dangerous. I'd like to group all these solar panels, and I want to move them. I want to group them all anyway. So I'm going to right click and say to group as a model, single model. And then I'm going to, ooh, I want to do that. New, I just want to do the, what did I do wrong? Solar panel model. Yeah, it's messed up. Okay, so I didn't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So those solar panels should not be in main group. Those solar panels just themselves should be grouped. It can be grouped as a folder and then say solar panel. So rather than a model, I'll make them, so let's make them like that, and then move these forward so that whoever comes can move them behind the shadow. All right, there we go. Now individually, they need to be better aligned. So I was going to say, who installed those panels? Like, why are they so messed up? Part of this is because now I've got snapped parts in. All right. Now, the other difficult thing in this are these rows where they're doing planting. I'm not sure what kind of agriculture is going on there, but here we have, you can do a part and it can be a cylinder, and the cylinder can be brought to the end here, and then that cylinder needs to be brought down onto the ground. Oh, that's interesting. Like, you'd think the cylinder would be, that's the air, okay. So I need to zoom in on that cylinder and bring it way down to the ground. It's a tiny cylinder, I think that's the problem. It's so small, we need to scale it up significantly. That's way too big, that's way too small. Get it out of the ground. There's a cylinder. Alright, so this cylinder is still a bit big, but it's sitting on the ground and it needs to be rotated and shrunk. So let me make it a little smaller again, and then let me rotate it. Edit pivot point. What if I want to rotate it like that? No, like that, straight up. It's really weird. I want to be able to so this cylinder, what I really want to be able to do is to rotate the cylinder down on the ground. And when I have it on the ground, I want to be able to look down on it from the top. And then I want to be able to scale it like all the way down. And there's no point in making it a half cylinder because it would be a waste of time. But if I rotate this now slightly like that, I begin to get a row for planting strawberries. And this still has to be rotated like that. And then brought down under and brought over. This is like really awkward because it's got a big shadow it's casting right now. It's got to be down on the ground, like halfway. And I guess it also needs to scale them back. And if that works, then we begin to replicate this agricultural thing. But again, they're not straight. I don't think we're ever going to get this completely straight. But if we call this part we'll call it garden rows. And then we can duplicate. And the problem is this is so awkward, the way that we have the pivot point. And if I edit the pivot point, like I want the pivot point to be looking down. I mean, I want it to be straight ahead. And it's not. I don't understand this whole pivot point thing. It really messes with my brain because you want to be able to go, all right, I don't want this to go up. I want this to rotate so that I can duplicate and just move this over without having to keep moving it down. Because that's the ground. And my pivot point's really messed up. And that's gonna mess with my head. It keeps, that's up and down. That's whacked. And that's all because the pivot point is so funky. But I don't even know, like, yeah, I'm like useless with this. Like, this is beyond my pay grade. Like, how is that even a thing? I don't know what to do with that. See, I mean, it's like, how did you do that? And I just wanted to move a stupid thing in there. I just want to be able to move it. And maybe we're getting somewhere. It's just so bizarre. Yeah, I guess so. Now I think we got it. So we'll have to shorten these, but get these rows. And then we have to move that. 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 Okay. Well, like I say, it's not going to be perfect, but we are able to get something going here. Can I select that? Yes. All right. Hey, that's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. So, okay. So if I get all those garden rows and I make them, put them in a folder, and say garden rows 1, and I can take all those and duplicate them, and then garden rows 2, and select all of them, and move them over to the other side, like so, except I have to flip them over or just change the stretch on them. So let's go into here and grab this one and go to scale. And grab this one, go to scale. Grab this one and scale it out. This one and scale it out. Grab this one and scale it out. Grab this one and scale it out. Grab this one and scale it out. And then it looks like they have a few more that they've put in here. So I should be able to grab that one, put it there, and do one more, put it there, but this one needs to be scaled to there. This one looks like it needs to be scaled to there. And then there's one more of these that gets duplicated and scaled over there. All right, so that's promising. These aren't, this has to be scaled a bit shorter, This has to be a bit longer. This has to be a bit shorter. This has to be a bit shorter, a bit shorter, and a bit shorter. That's pretty good. Save that. And I like how there's also, if we had to put strawberries in there, we could put strawberry inside here on this once the internet picks up. And the garden.
They have the grape signs.
Mm-hmm.
What is that to symmetry there? Strawberries?
Strawberry?
What?
No, I don't know if they have strawberries. I'm just hypothesizing. Strawberry. Somehow it's not coming. Save to start using Asset Manager. Okay, I guess I need to save it to Roblox, and I'll call this Rich Nursery Mockup. As creator, and save it because it's not letting me. Rich Nursery. Yeah, there it is. Rich Nursery. Oh, that was done on 30th. Oh. Uh-oh, what happened to my... Hey, that's not good. Where did it go? Experiences. Okay, this one here. There's Nursery Morocco. Okay, there we go. This is connecting to server. So let's put this on pause for a moment. Okay, we connected to the server, and now when I search for strawberry, we should get a strawberry. Something's weird. Like, why is this not bringing in a strawberry? Zoom in on it. Well, that is a single strawberry. No, didn't want that. I wanted the one that, I guess it's taking a while to populate. Don't know why it's taking so long to populate. Big strawberry, cute strawberry. Some of these things are fine, and others are not showing up. So I keep trying them. Oh no, we don't want that. That's awful. What's cute strawberry? I don't know. Curtain. I don't want a curtain. What the heck is that? Huh. That's strawberry curtain. That's terrible. Strawberry smoothie, cute strawberry, kawaii strawberry. What does that look like? There was another one the other day that was really good. Right, that's a lamp. We don't want that. So, if I can't use strawberries, what can I use? Garden plants? There's a plant to garden. There's garden plants. Okay. So maybe we put some vegetables in there like that. And make it smaller. That's it has a script, so maybe it actually grows. I don't know what happens with that. But we can now go through this and duplicate. And we can make a row of, oops. What just happened there? Duplicate. Okay. Now, if this was Blender, you'd just create an array and you'd be done with it. Whether or not we can do an array, I mean, what we can do, of course, is take these plants and gather all of them. Take those plants and I can put them in a folder, or I could group them as a model. I'm going to group it in a folder. I'm going to say garden plants, and then I will take all of those and copy them all. Shift, click, and then duplicate the whole row and move them down. And that way it's much quicker. And then I grab an individual plant. I can put that. So I don't know if this is going to gum up things or not. You just never know. How big is this model? Or was it really optimized? So we're going to find out. Alright, so we have that, and we can take all these now, and we can duplicate them all. And bring them over to here. Yeah. And duplicate those, yes.
So what computer will take?
I'll take this one.
What?
I think I have to take this one.
You have to?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's got my software on it.
Okay. So I think this computer I'm not taking the big one.
Okay.
I'll take Mercy. Because if I need the ArcGIS, it's on your computer too, right?
The Arc is
My
on.
account, right?
Yep.
So we don't need to take more than one heavy computer, right?
No.
I was thinking about this computer on Mercy, but if you take that big
You
one.
know what? I should be putting subfolders here.
I'll take next.
So I should group as a folder and then make this garden row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll call this garden row 6. I'll do all of this until where? So this is going to be, I should have been more organized. I should have come down here in each row. That starts the other row. All right, so from here up, that's garden row 1. So we'll group that as a folder. Garden row 1. And these, so that's supposed to be in garden 1 row 2. I want to move in. Oh, that is garden row 1. Okay. And this one here down to, let's see again, from here, hold shift, go down to there, that, and that, and that. That's garden row 2. Row 2. I might as well put this on pause while I finish. All right, so I've been able to populate a lot of this. So I've been putting them in folders and then Control D, making a folder and then bringing it out to the next row. And some of these are like, you get these weird axes, but this would be strawberry bush row 2. And then we'll duplicate that, and this will be row 3. And those over and move them up. Stagger them maybe a little bit. Same thing with those, but I have to go to there. And bring them down. Maybe like that. So I've got a bunch of plants now in here, and also on the other side, even corn. So it's getting to be better and better, this garden. It's time to do a play test and see what our little character. Oh, I know why. Everything fell. Yeah, so all these rows, it's not just the rows, it's like everything needs to be anchored. Particularly, I mean, maybe not the strawberries, but certainly these garden rows. So garden rows 1 have to be anchored, and then garden row 2 needs to be anchored as geometry. And then when we play, all right, there. Tomatoes all over the place, and we didn't anchor one of the rows, so that's a problem. Which row didn't get anchored? This row here. Select. You didn't get anchored. No, because your garden row is not even in the garden row folder. So let's see if I can find the garden row folder. Garden rows 1. No, it's under garden rows 2. Here's garden rows 2. So put that in there. And now that needs to be anchored as well. And so should click now. It really bounced. So tomatoes falling all over the place. Kind of cute. salad beans growing so neat. Oops. So we just need to put stuff inside the greenhouse. And to do that, we would dive in, and I think it's always nice to put lights in. And I think the hanging light bulb was kind of cool. Realistic light. I think we'll just put a hanging light bulb. But we need to rotate it because it's looking weird. Is it going to rotate? Like that. Okay. And then we can duplicate it. We have to name it. Always remember to name it. Hanging light bulb. And then when you duplicate it, you duplicate that name. Oh, it didn't do it? No, where's the hanging light bulb? Hanging light bulb. So put one there and put one there. And come inside. And you're supposed to be putting trees in here, so nursery new. It does make me remember that we should put in a fan. It's a script. So if you're going to sell us that this fan has a script, and we're probably going to have to anchor it. Where's that box there? It's a wall unit. I think I'm going to get rid of it then. Oh, let me get rid of it. Darn it. He keeps putting like what? Okay. Not that. Crompton. Probably the same thing. They all have boxes, so maybe I'll just put a fan inside. It's going to spin. New. In. Rotate. Scale it up. Move it back. Move it down. It's probably got an animation in it. And we were going to put trees in, right? So tree. Or actually seedling again, maybe. There's a seedling in a pot somewhere. Potted plant. I mean, we can put a potted plant in here on the side. But really what we're supposed to be putting in here are trees. Do we have any trees? Potted plant. That looks like a plant with a tree in it. Yes. Okay. all coming in on weird axes, which really bothers me. Like, why would it come in rotated? If I move this, and I make another one, these are called model. I hate when it comes in without a name. So potted tree, potted tree, potted plant, and now I can make several of these. We can scale these up a bit. Scaling, you can hit the Alt key. See if there's any other potted plants that we can use. A flower pot, potted plant. We can put some. That looks like marijuana. Tree. So obviously we can continue to come in and populate all sorts of plants in here. And same with these greenhouses over here. Maybe I'll put into here I'll put in raised bed and raised flower bed. I'll put that in there. Okay, that's nice actually. But why is it not snapping? Snap to parts. This is so weird. And then I want to put in a grow bed. Grow bed. Shrubs, mini gardens, bush for the boys. So, the heck is that? Okay, we don't want that. That's too to shrubs. I think they're all coming in on angles, which is super weird. This is called garden summer, and then we'll duplicate that. It's just one of them. Huh. What's this then? Oh, it's just one, I guess. That's really weird. Like there were all these different pieces in here, and they were all part of Garden Summer, and they came out of Garden Summer. So I want to drop them into Garden Summer because that's where they belong. This one here belongs in Garden Summer. This one here belongs in Garden Summer. That's it. So Garden Summer is the whole suite of them. This little guy here, whoever he is, he can, who's this? It's the same thing. So this model here can delete, but that model there is good. So Garden Summer can be replicated and brought over there. We can always rearrange our greenhouse. Also notice that the lights, let's bring in some lights in here too. And I'll try a ceiling light this time. Is that upside down? Seems like it's upside down. So we need to rotate it. That way and that way. And it should go into the greenhouse. Okay. That's weird. Like, because we need to be inside to see it. Okay, fair enough. And then what about this in here? What are we going to put inside this? Inside this greenhouse, we can put garden, and we can put what was that? Oh, vegetation garden. I like these trees though, so that's kind of cool. If I can rotate this around and fit this in the greenhouse, then that'll be a good thing. Scale this down. This we definitely need. Over. Scale this a little bit smaller. And then duplicate it. Uh-oh. You are, what do you call it? Tree garden? And then who are you? You are tree garden 2. Alright, so one of these has to move. Alright, so let's play our game now. Oh, yeah. So, not terrible. Look at the trees in the greenhouse. Plants being grown. Go in there. These trees. We should put another light in there, of course. Oops. Solar panels. Stomp on the solar panels. Oh, goodness gracious, look at our greenhouse. It really got Titanic. Alright, so somehow this greenhouse must have come undone, unlocked. Oh god, how did that happen? So something must have bumped into it or something. So when we, it seems like it is locked, but it lost its anchor. So I have to select it, I have to unlock it, and then I should be able to select it, and then anchor it, and then lock it again. Now let's try. Yeah. And there's a big fan. The blade that came way off. Oh my gosh. Things you learn. So what happened to you, buddy? You need to be locked, but you also need to be anchored, right? Let me unlock you. Okay, unlocked. Selected. That is anchored. We have to anchor the inside part too then. So, greenhouse large back, who are you? You're that box fan. So you have a body, brackets, feet, knob, motor, bearing, thumbnail camera. So, it's supposed to be, I have no idea why it would come out. Motor, back grill, front grill, brackets, feet, handle, knob, motor set, rotor. None of that should come out. That's just bizarre. So I can't really account for like why that thing fell apart. Yeah, the motor's like out on the floor, as if it fell out. Like, who are you? I don't know. It's bizarre as hell. And we hold the Alt key down, like there's a blade. It's part of a union. It is part of the rotor. And then there's this part, all part of this rotor, which are all part of the motor set. And the motor set should be, it is anchored, so that shouldn't come out. So something's weird. Parts. But I mean, I can delete it, and I can try for a different fan. That was a box fan. I can try for this one here. Looks a little more like a greenhouse fan anyway. Mm-hmm. Also like to put in that other light, because I don't think there's enough light in here, like the ceiling light. See how much fun you can have building worlds like that. Casting light. So this is ceiling light. And then we can move this to duplicate it and make it go. Huh. So let's save this. Let's play it. And now, take some stones, go inside, and there's that fan moving, which is good. Alright, I'm going to jump in the fountain here. Right, trees in there, trees in there. Alright. And then, of course, you can climb up, jump out here, jump in your roadster. This electric cart shouldn't make that noise. And you can finish up all that. So the guy goes to the edge of the world, falls off, drives in the desert sand, comes to the grass and goodbye. And that's it. Alright, we're done for tonight. I think we've just going to publish to Roblox. I think it's published to Roblox. And test it on Roblox itself. So to Roblox. And look at wearing home. I should have in my experiences create hub experiences. So there's the Acrosh nursery Morocco. If we play it, although I should be able to change picture. No. Okay. I don't know, we want to play it. Let's edit it. Studio view on Roblox. Alright, so how does one favorite it? Thumb it up. Can't run it on. Roblox gameplay. Okay, so this is on the actual Roblox game. Car there? Car's not there. How strange. Because I drove it off a cliff. The car's not there. This is, the car's there. Oops. Just took it a little while to materialize, but there's the car. Alright, so people can have this experience on Roblox, and they'll have to keep improving it. So that's lovely to start with, and then we'll get more complexes. Well, I still want to do that area there, and this area here, whatever they are. Alright, so Roblox working. To home. And my question is, how does one change this picture? So, favorite, no, did favorite. Copy the link, no. And how do you? I don't know. Maybe it's in here, but maybe not. It is Studio Settings, published to Roblox News, but it is that way anyway. So I can make this public. But I don't know how. So when you go to experiences, what is it that lets you edit? And I think this is where I need to ask ChatGPT. Hey Chat, how do I change the default picture for my Roblox experience? Is it from the web or from Roblox? Yeah. Change the Roblox website. Go to the experience page. Go to Roblox.com. Click on the Create tab. See a list of your games. Edit the experience icon. Figure start place. So you want to go to Create. Where is Create? Create. Now, Create is there. So we're in the Creator Hub, and then you go to Configure Localization. No. configure permissions, settings, content settings. Make it public. We'll save the changes. Don't reshape it this time. Didn't if we change that, maybe it's the name it doesn't like. No. Huh. Places. Add a place. It's the start place. Created places. So it looks like it's going to have a view. Okay, place's name. Icon. Thumbnail. So the icon is what needs to be changed. And for that, we should go to, I want to go to experiences. Go back to home. Go to here, play the game. And stairs. I'm going to fix that, of course. I want to come up here and make that the cover picture. Sorry. You go away. Come here. Okay. Save as. Now let's go to find. There. All right. Save changes. It's in review. That's the problem. Same with this, like why it's not public. It's because it's in review. Back to places. Place. Access. Optimized. Basic settings. Permissions. Allow users to download, yes. Paste copied. Yes. Some changes. And then private. It isn't private, it's public. Okay. Good. It's public and I'm in it. And eventually it's going to show up in here once they review the picture. And that'll be fun. All right, so we're done. Thank you very much. All started with this GIS. Isn't that great fun? Bye.